Tanya Neslusan says she's heard from voters that they want a change in the 1st Hampden District. So the Democrat has decided to challenge Republican Todd Smola, who you just heard from. Why is now the right time to get into the game? Here's what she said.
There are certain issues that are important to me. I've been very involved in activism, and I just wasn't seeing the results that I was looking for. And at the legislative level, that's really where the changes are made.
What's one issue more recently that you feel like that we're just not moving the needle, we're not getting that change that you just talked about?
I mean, I think, honestly, we're moving the needle backwards on some issues, on a lot of women's issues. We have seen a cut in funding for women's health clinics. We've seen a pushback in general on healthcare. We were starting to move forward, and just in the last few years, we've been pulling it back. You know, day to day, I work in health insurance and healthcare, and you know, seeing the importance of preventative care, seeing the importance of, you know, having healthcare accessibility is really important to me. And I've seen that kind of pulling back in the last couple of years, and that's really important to me. As a parent, you know, I also am very concerned about the school funding formula.
Which is something that Western Mass has struggled with, you know, saying to Boston, look, this is a funding formula that hasn't changed in far too many years, and it's inequitable to Western Massachusetts.
Right.
Do you have any sense of suggestions you have? Because we're close to this legislative session to making some changes, but didn't get there.
Yeah, and I think that the changes that were proposed last session were solid changes. I think a big part of what we need to look into in Western Mass too is factoring the cost of transportation. Because it's not like Boston, where you know you've got a neighborhood school and it's fairly local and some kids walk. You know, my son goes to a regional school. The bus ride to school is 45 minutes. You know, if my son takes the late bus, he's still got a 2-mile walk home after he gets off the late bus. You know, because that gets really costly when you're talking about rural districts.
Yeah. You mentioned a moment ago your background. You've spent 20 years or so, your professional career in healthcare information systems technology. Do I have that title right?
Yeah, health insurance IT.
Thank you.
So
explain to folks what exactly that means from a practical perspective.
From a practical perspective, I do project management and business analysis, primarily looking at the extracts and reports that we send to the Commonwealth and other entities. I work on the back end of the information systems and data.
So what have you learned from the healthcare system, viewing it from that back end perspective?
I've seen the variation in costs depending on where you go. I've seen the variation in care depending on where you go. I have seen where certain populations are not able to get the primary care, and the expanded costs of having to go to urgent care or the emergency room because you weren't getting your primary care.
When you say certain populations, what do you mean?
Basically, a lot of communities where they're either underserved by medical facilities, in population, a lot of minority communities, a lot of low-income communities, a lot of working families, you know, where you're looking at factors where people can't afford to take a day off of work to go for a checkup, or to get a sore throat looked at before it turns into something more serious. And you know, these are working people who, you know, because of the way that, you know, healthcare has changed over the last few years. You know, it used to be, I mean, I remember 20 years ago, you'd go to the doctor, and it was a $20 copay, and you know, you go to the emergency room, and it was a $75 copay, and you know, yeah, it was a little cost prohibitive, but it wasn't the high deductible environment that we're in now, which really makes it prohibitive for people to just get simple, basic care.
Something else you've campaigned about is the need for infrastructure improvement here in Western Massachusetts.
Absolutely.
Todd Smola, who's running, he's the current incumbent Republican representative for the seat, been there about 13 years. He sits on Ways and Means, which is a very powerful position when it comes to advocating for funding, getting money in the state budget. So how would you be, you know, advocating for those funds to get here if elected?
I would be proposing legislation. I would be sponsoring and co-sponsoring legislation. Sitting on Ways and Means is only effective if you are going to really use that position. The other thing too is that realistically, you need to be pushing the ball forward in order for that to matter. There are opportunities to lead on issues. There are opportunities to push forward on issues. There are opportunities to champion the issues, and also to really kind of get out front and ally with people who can get the job done, with people who might be in Eastern Mass and they're looking at the T, and they're not looking at East-West Rail. And they need to understand the importance of spreading the wealth. And we need to be able to have somebody in office who can communicate with other populations about the importance of bringing prosperity to Western Mass and how that benefits the Commonwealth as a whole.
I wanted to mention or ask you about one of the ballot questions, question 3. Mm-hmm. You're a member of the LGBTQ community. You talk about your wife, Rebecca, and you mentioned your son, Nick. Question 3, people may or may not be aware of it at this point. It's raised there's been quite a bit of money put into both sides of the question at this point. But it would roll back the 2016 law that was passed here in Massachusetts that prohibits discrimination based on gender identity. Mm-hmm. What's your position on question 3?
Oh, absolutely. You need to vote yes on question 3. I believe in the protection of all citizens of Massachusetts, whether they're LGBT, whether they're heterosexual, cisgendered. Everyone needs to be protected.
That voting yes supports the current law.
Right. That said, there's a lot of confusion. I think there's a lot of hysteria that's brought up around bathrooms. In particular. Now, first of all, the legislation to protect transgender rights involves a whole lot more than bathrooms. It's all public accommodations, including medical facilities. Second of all, there has never been an incident of a transgender person attacking someone in a bathroom ever. You can look it up. It's a false flag trying to stir up hysteria and discrimination. And the proponents of voting no on the bill are doing nothing more than pulling a false flag against members of the transgender community.